Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Thornburg, and I'm going to review another vaccine on a catch-up schedule program in case that is something that you're interested in. And a mom asked a really good question. If you do the catch-up schedule, does a school or a daycare accept the catch-up schedule as equivalent to a full vaccine schedule? And the answer is yes. This is the CDC catch-up schedule. So it is as valid as your full vaccine credit card to get into school, even though you happen to give fewer vaccines. And why can you give fewer vaccines? Because the immune system can do more with less. If I took a second grader and I teach them algebra, how many times do they have to pass through algebra class until they understand algebra? Quite a few times. That's similar to following the full vaccine schedule. But if I teach algebra to an 8th or 9th grader, how many times do they have to go through the class? Once, because developmentally they're ready to handle it. Their academic cognitive abilities are ready to handle that challenge. If you give a vaccine to an older child, their immune system can do more with less, so they only have to pass through fewer times than if you follow the full vaccine schedule, because the full vaccine schedule starts at birth when the immune system is fully immature. I'm going to review PREVNAR right now. PREVNAR is one of the meningitis vaccines. It is typically given at 2, 4, 6, and at 12 to 15 months old. However, if you don't give the vaccine at any of those ages, if you don't give the vaccine at 2, 4, 6 months old or at 12 to 15 months old, so basically the child has no vaccines, and then you administer the first PREVNAR at the age of 24 months or after, that's the only PREVNAR they need. So you can either give your child 4 vaccines of PREVNAR at 2, 4, 6, and 12 to 15 months, or you can not give any of the vaccines for PREVNAR until they're 24 months old, and then you can give just the one vaccine and they are considered fully caught up. So you don't have to give the 3 previous vaccines. And who knows what all of those 3 extra vaccines are doing to their immune system. We don't know what they're doing to the brain. We don't know how injecting items that are not intended to enter our body proper are being processed or contained and staying in our body, because there's no natural way to excrete or detoxify from those ingredients. The downside of not doing that is a child doesn't have any protection against strep pneumococcal meningitis until they're 2 years old, as opposed to starting at 2 months old. So that's a decision that you need to weigh. Do I want to limit the number of vaccines I'm giving, but then having them possibly exposed? So what's the incidence of strep pneumococcal meningitis? 1 in a million to 1 in 2 million. I have not seen a case since residency. I've been practicing outpatient pediatrics with some hospital care and in child abuse medicine since 2003, where I trained and where most physicians trained is you're at a major medical center. And at a major medical center, you gather the worst of the worst from all the other hospitals. So me sitting here in Naples, Florida, I haven't seen a single case. Now, that's not to say that the pediatric ICU doctor over at my local hospital hasn't seen some, because they're gathering the worst of the worst from all the pediatricians in the area. But I have not seen one in over 20 years. So that's PREVNAR, and thanks a lot for watching.